If you ask somebody if they knew about any platformers on the Genesis, they'd probably say something like Sonic the Hedgehog. If they didn't say that, they'd probably say like Vector Man. If they didn't say that, they'd probably say... And if they didn't say that, they'd probably say Wheel of Fortune. But if they didn't say that, they'd probably say Dynamite Headdy. This game is kind of weird because, unlike most Genesis platformers, I never see it ever brought up, which is really strange. It's one of the best rated Genesis games on the Genesis, so I wonder why that is.
The game was developed by Treasure, a Japanese video game developer. After Gunstar Heroes, Treasure was divided into 4 teams to work on 4 separate projects: Alien Soldier, Light Crusader, a name I won't even try to pronounce, and finally Dynamite Headdy. The project was led by Koichi Kimura. He wanted to try his hand at making an original game, as all of his previous projects were pre-existing properties. With Masato Megawa as lead programmer, the game began development. The game was inspired by Western animation and the work of film director Terry Gilliam. Kimura wanted the characters to attack with a part of his body and decided on the idea of a puppet who threw his head.
Let's just pop the game in and... I've been scammed.
I ordered my game off a Russian guy on eBay, and it arrived 2 weeks earlier than I expected, and... What is up with this box art? I'm sure you can't tell, but whoever I ordered this from clearly didn't have the original box art, so they printed out a low-quality image they found off Google. It's not that big of a deal, but then I try and put it in the machine and... I do have other options, though.
Did somebody order terrible? This is the @Games Sega Genesis microconsole. The most notable thing about this is bad.
The music is pitched up, and the control is delayed, and I hate everything about this. Luckily, with some good old-fashioned American work, I made it work. This is Dynamite Headdy for the Sega Genesis. Pushing the start button, we are greeted to the first level of the game. Surprise? It's a running sequence and has Sega and Treasure propaganda everywhere, a common sight in this game. You have to stay safe from this giant robot collecting these guys. After running for a little bit, you run into this cat dude and... This cat is extremely hard for you to beat, and it happens to be the first boss of the game. You can only hit him when he's fallen down, but there's all these energy balls around him, making it super difficult. After game overing twice, I made my way to the next level, Practice Area. I can't be the only person who thinks it's weird that they put the tutorial stage after the first level, but it's whatever. We get introduced to the game's main mechanics: grappling, targeting, and changing heads. All the tutorial areas are quick little mini-games that are extremely fun, and I wish there were more of them. The next level is Toys in the Hood, the name of my new rap album. There's a ton of product placement, but aside from that, it's a fun yet short little romp. That's the thing about this game though. Most of the levels will introduce their gimmick, use it quickly, and send you directly into a boss. Speaking of which, we come face to face with the cat a second time, and he instantly gets crushed. You're supposed to hit the tail of the dog, and it's the perfect level of difficulty. The dog's tail wags and makes it hard for you to hit, yet doesn't dish out too much damage. Well, then we're sent into a sewer level that sucks. It's got this awful tilting pseudo 3D garbage going on, and it makes it hard to tell where you are in relation to what. We also see the cat lurking around in the background. He snatches you at the end of the level.
Thank God nothing like this would happen in real life.
We're taken to a very sudden boss fight where we're speeding backstage. This boss fight is extremely hard, but it seems fair as well. Also, it's very clear on what you need to do. After this, you get sent directly into another boss fight. This one is literally just the first boss fight from Sonic 1. After defeating this boss, you get sent directly into another boss fight.
Geez, somebody drowning in a pool has more breathing room than this game does.
This one you're fighting one of those posture puppets, and the outfit it's wearing determines its attacks. You have to smack them all off with your head, and this boss fight is a little easier than the others, but it turns out it's also extremely fun. I game overed here.
Now, despite video games being one of my few passions, I'm not very good at them, so at this point, I decided to commit a felony. I used a cheat code.
Rattling off a CA left right B takes you to the level select screen and...
Fine, I'll try it once and then I'll beat the rest of the game. Well, now I have to know what leads up to this!
You go through a couple of really fun platforming stages with some admittedly cool gimmicks, and then you're sent into another boss fight. This one has you constantly climbing a tower while the cat dude tries to snatch it out from under you. I feel like this boss fight is perfection. The attacks are extremely well choreographed, and it's very obvious when you can fight back. Too bad I suck at video games. I'm gonna stop beating around the bush. This game is not made for beginners. It is unforgiving and does not give you any breathing room. You are going to die. A lot. But this game makes up for it with one single aspect of the game. The style and atmosphere of this game is impeccable. The game is set up like it's a puppet show, and it uses this theme as much as it can. Puppets, toys, using props and handmade looking backgrounds. Of course it starts to lose that theme a little throughout, like, yeah, a puppet show, obviously. The head mechanic is also pretty neat. Every once in a while you'll see this little dude named Headcase walking around with a little roulette going on inside him. Hit him and boom, genetic engineering. There's a lot of these, and they're pretty similar to the Kirby copy abilities. It's super neat and creative what they do and come up with. Okay, so after a couple more boss fights, a chase scene, and 2 more platforming levels, we show up at the final boss. So that blue guy that was taking all the keys from the bosses shows up to try and stop this guy, and he fails. After an extremely difficult boss fight, the game is over.
Now what did I think of this game? Well, I'd say it was a fun romp, if not a little hard. If I had to make a comparison, I'd probably say Cuphead and Kirby. Cause, I mean, yeah, it's a mild platformer, but you're really staying for the style and character interactions. Thank God I got this to work. I ordered it from Russia. And after this, I'm not sure I can ever trust them again. They did make Tetris, though.